to have her up here. Next on the podium is Johnny Abney. Look at that. Come on, Michael, you can't get out of this.
Good morning. How's everyone this morning? Can you hear me? Okay, all right. I won't say again, like I did last year about my mother forcing me to come up here, okay? But I will, okay? I just did. Good morning. I'm happy to be in Chicago. All right. How am I doing tonight? Pretty good? And it's good to see everyone. You know, I was sitting over there at the table. I knew I had to come up here, and I was thinking of what I would say. And I remembered yesterday when Ms. Pamela Russell, I was trying to chase down my niece Kim and my nephew Kevin, who were going to throw her in the water, okay, swimming pool. So Pam ran up to me and she said, Michael, you should set a better example than that, okay? And I thought about that, and I guess I'm going to use that word to speak on just for a couple of minutes. What an example these group of people have been to me, and I think all of the family. I look at Maya Rosie there, who has definitely taught me perseverance, because she will persevere for 100 years. I know she will, at least. And she's taught me how to go through the rough times. My Aunt Willie has been such a joy, always pleasant to be around. And she's taught me that not to worry about things, not to let things get to you. And my Uncle Bud has always been a working man, taught me how to continue on when things are tough. And he doesn't know what he's given me, but I wanted to tell him now, and thank you for that, Uncle Bud. And everyone else here has been such an influence on me and to all of us. You all have been very good examples. I know we don't tell you that often, but I wanted to be the first to tell you that we all do, if no one else has, because you've been tremendous examples and beacons in the night for us, and we want to say thank you. I know I do, okay? So, right. So, I'm going to cut it short right now. My mother, she has given me, oh God, I can't tell you how much she's given me, okay? So I wanted to say thank you, and I hope everyone, I see everyone again next year. I don't know where, but I hope it's even a bigger output than what we have right now. And Pam, that was beautiful yesterday. I'm going to try to be a better example. Okay? All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, and that's what we need to do, be a better example to all these young people coming along behind us, too. And we also want to give roses to our elders while they can still smell them. Next on the podium is Ruth. So, Bobby, come on up. We don't want to hear that.
Good morning. Michael let me down. He said he was going to hold his seat. So I guess we must learn one thing from our parents, and that is to be obedient. I am real happy to hear Uncle Julius say something about our history. Certainly, I am a part of that 40-year history, and I know that I wouldn't want anything to happen that history would not be passed down. I think we as a race of people need to know not only where we came from, but how the struggle was of getting over the hump. We must be able to delve into all of our family history, the part that we don't know and the part that our elders don't want to tell us. And I think a book will give us that. And I am imploring our elders to get together, like P and all the rest who know it, to give it all to us. Don't leave any of it out. For there are some good and there is some bad back there. But I think we need to know it all to make us whole. We really enjoyed Baltimore last year. I've been hearing great comments, but certainly as we came to Chicago, we enjoyed that just as well, and we thank Naomi for taking on the challenge of hosting the family reunion. To all of our elders, we say to you, live on. For out of you, out of your loins and out of your bowels come us. And because of you, this family reunion will continue to go on. Grace, peace, and mercy to all of you.
Thank you, Bobby. Bobby and Michael had decided that they were going to keep their seats when it was time for Johnny and Ruth to come up. But I see that Bobby is trying to obey his parents. Next we have Grover from Cleveland.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life. And second, I would like to say thanks to Naomi and Chicago for being the host. You know, I got a chance to see her mother for the first time in many years. And I was really delighted to see her. And it's just, you know, so good when you can look from whence you came and you can see peoples who you know that came up the rough side of the mountain. Now, a lot of us don't really know, but there are a lot of us and a lot of our foreparents that left home. They left Boycott, Alabama, not knowing where they were going. Some left walking. And some left depending on the freight train. But you know that by the grace of God, with that determination, you can make it. So I just want to say this morning that thank God that our young peoples don't have to come up the rough side of the mountain. Because we have modern technology today. We have lawyers, we have doctors, we have bankers, we have all types of people in our family today. So if we are concerned for one another, and if we love one another, and if we invest in one another, there will not be another rough side of the mountain. So we are here this morning from Cleveland, and we are thankful for being here. And I would like to say and pledge that I would like to make all of the family reunions, because we need this. Now, as you know, that my father was Robert Poindexter and Mary Ingram Poindexter. And we came from Boycott, Alabama, and I don't deny that. And I tell my pastor all the time, he said, well, everybody join the church. or any minister come through with roots out of Alabama, I tell them that's the best. But if it's from Buncombe, that is the best. See? Because, you know, we had to make what we played with. We didn't have toys and things. Whatever you wanted to play with, you had to make it. So by the grace of God, he gave us the wisdom. And he also let us know when it was time to leave. And we left. So by leaving, you know, we were seeking wisdom and we were seeking knowledge. And most of all, we were seeking more money so we could live better, you know. And we could rear our families and educate our children. And most of all, found a church home. So we did those things. And I'm happy to say this morning that we are here. We are delighted to be here. And we give all praises to God. And I would like for Cleveland to stand this morning. So I thank you all, and I'm going to close now. So I would say to our young generation that I will be glad to see this book, and I will I'll put my pocketbook behind it to make it possible. And I'm saying that whatever you do, you don't have to do it alone. If you need financial assistance or whatever you need to make this book possible, I'm willing to do that, in order for our young people to know from whence they came and how we got over. Thank you.
Thank you, Grover. We're going to move right along because we have to be out of this room by 1 o'clock. Next, we're going to have a little speech from, from Mildred. Oh, Norma, you talking for Mildred?
Good afternoon. I'm going to talk in behalf of my mother, Mildred. She has been a friend of Naomi Watts Poindexter, the host, for 50 years now. And I'm also talking in behalf of Cincinnati. We've enjoyed being here, and we've had we've had a good time, and we think you've done tremendously good with the family reunion this year. And everything was clean, in the clear, everything in place and on time, and that's the way I like it. Good luck for the family reunion next year, and God love you all.
Thank you. Today we have a representative from the Pitts family. So, Richard, come on down.
You know, that's a common name, Richard, and I don't always respond when somebody says Richard. When someone says Richard, I don't always stand up because I may be the wrong one. But I have been involved now directly in the family reunion, I believe, since about 83 or 84. And I would just like to say I'm happy to have learned so many of my relatives and friends that I grew up with. As Pinonia was mentioning all the areas there, like the creek and the sand, I was on familiar ground. That's some of you were lost, but I was not. But I was right with her, and suddenly this is the type of thing that I was happy to hear Sister Henley say, that we're going to record this, because I tells them in the church there at Boynt Cohen and around that we have a beautiful history that we are now trying to get together and pass it on to the younger generation. We have failed to do this down through the years. Somehow, some way, our records haven't stayed in place. So I think what you are doing is a beautiful job, and I hope that we can continue to carry on in the future that as we have done in the past. So I'm not going to say anymore, and thank you again, Cheryl.
Now we're going to get back to our elders. Uncle Bud, I think you're the youngest one, so come on up.
I guess I want to say good morning too. When they was talking a while ago, they was talking about when we was at home and how they left, you know. Some left homegoing, some left walking. I left doing both things. I left walking, no going. I walked from Boynt Cohen to over near Evergreen there, Watson, and I was hoboing. I was fixing the hobo, and I walked all night long. I got sleepy now. I laid down by the road and I took a nap. And I got to walk some more. Got over about sunrise the next morning, and when I got there, I heard a train coming in. When the train was coming, I got all shaky, but I got on, and I went to ride. And when you know nothing about riding, you always listen to what somebody say. So I listened to the people, and they were telling me, they were talking about how to hobo. And when we got to Montgomery, a new freight was just taken out, so I jumped on it. Come on into Birmingham, and I went, and I didn't know what to do then, so it was getting dark. So I went over and I laid behind a sign, and I slept all night. I got up the next morning and in a big hurry, you know, and I caught the wrong train. It took me all day to get back. But I finally got back, and when I got back, I caught the right train. So I come on to Cincinnati, and I got to Cincinnati. I had never been to a city before. Now, I got to my sister's house. I looked at all them at doorbells, you know. I didn't know what bell to ring, so I rang them all. When I got through ringing the bell, everybody was looking out the window. I said, hello? So I stayed there a little while, and my sister went to work, and she left me at the house. And I was laying in bed, and something spoke to me, said, it's time for you to go. I didn't have a quarter. So I went down and I caught a passenger train. I'm tired of riding freight. I caught me a passenger train, and I rode the passenger train a little while. The man caught me and put me off. He said, I catch you back down here again. He said, I'm going to put you in jail. I went up there and I hoboed. I went thumbing, you know. I thumbed, wouldn't nobody let me ride. I said, well, you can just put me in here, I'll come. I went back down and I caught a freight train, and what I should have been riding in push. And I went on into Pittsburgh. I got to Pittsburgh, and then I started walking again. I started walking about, I guess I started walking about 8 o'clock. I walked from 8 until about 10 the next morning. I went all up and down the riverside, Cladden and all, everywhere. And finally, I met a man, and I said to the man, I said, I'm looking for a place called Blythedale. I said, can you tell me where in the hell it is? I said, I've been walking all night long. So he told me how to get there, so I went on to Blythedale. And I'll come up on the rough side of the mountain, I think.
Thank you, Uncle Bud. We want to save our president till last. Hey, Rosie, would you like to have something to say to us? You could just stand up and greet us if you like. Thank you. We want Leela and Big Mama to just stand up and wave at us and let us know that you're on the podium.
I want to say I'm sorry. I wasn't able to be in Baltimore last year, but last year this time I was in the hospital. And I had thorax. 3 months later, my husband had a laryngitis. Really glad to be with him.
Thank you. Big Mama, you want to stand up and wave at us too?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad to be here. The Lord has been so good to me. And any time this congregation, the Richardson, the kids, or whosoever have anything, you look around, you see me. God be there. My daughter knows she's not going to let me forget about it. I have to go to her house ahead of time. So she be sure that I'll be there. So I'm glad to be with you all. And may God bless every one of you.
Thank you. And now we'd like a word from our hostess, Naomi. But I understand I'm supposed to call on Jethro, so I better do that. Where's Jethro? Come on, Jethro. I don't want Naomi to jump on me.
Hello, everybody. Well, this is unexpected again, but I guess maybe I can think a few words to say. seems like everybody said they enjoyed themselves, and I'm proud of that. And if y'all like to do it again, we'll see what we can do about it. Thanks a lot.
Jethro, it's not going to be me that get jumped on. It's going to be you that get jumped on when they'll be seeing you a little later today. Okay, now we'd like a word from our president, Mrs. Henley.
They said good morning so much till I ain't gonna say it. But I'm glad to be here, and it's been a pleasure for the last 2-3 years to act as president, because president don't have nothing to do but sit down and watch what the rest of them do. And I have a bunch of pencils here that I want everybody that's here to take one. I think I got enough. I got 200. And I want whoever I ask a while ago to come up here and get these pencils. There's 2 boxes of pencils here, and 2 people can come up and pass them out. It's just I want you to keep this as a souvenir from me. And it reads on the pencil, I love you all, your Aunt Willie. So I'm everybody's Aunt Willie in here. Get somebody here. And next I want to say that we are planning a history book. And I have a copy of one of the Clausel's books, Go By. And I want anybody that has a saying, a short saying, to write it on a piece of paper and turn it over to me. And we'll have it in the history book. And if anybody else feel like doing like Poindexter said, put a little donation in there, because it's Willie Ruth's project. But she's asking me and P. Noah to help her do it. And we're going to have it ready. We want to have that book ready by next reunion. And we want to start with our old ancestors and the ones that started this reunion, which has been going on 40-some years. And Rose and I have missed one. We've been to every reunion that we've had. And when you send in your saying, send in a little donation with it. And anybody else that have sympathy for this book, send it in, because Willie Ruth is giving her money to have this book done. And we want, what's his name, Mildred's boy, to help her to fix this book and fix it so we'll know who pushed it and who was ahead of it. And with that, I'm through. I want to say to you that I have 2 quotations that I have followed in my life, and I'd like to leave them with you. The first one is, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sand of time. And the next one is, which I have tried to follow, let me live in the house by the side of the road and be a friend to man. Thank you.
Thank you, Aunt Willie. And now to the good business. Where are we going to meet next year? Can I have some nominations, please?
Alabama.
Okay, we have Detroit and Alabama.
Alabama.
Okay, all those in favor of Alabama, stand or raise your hands. Okay, and those in favor of Detroit? Okay, Julius, how many? This is too close. We have to do this again. And Julius is going to help count. Did Alabama win? Okay. They're telling us that Alabama won. Okay, let's do this again. Everybody for Alabama. All right, Detroit. I think Alabama has it. So we're going to meet next year in the homestead. Good old Burt Corn, Alabama. And by then we should have our history book, so this will be a perfect year. Our history and our roots all at the same time. Okay, now we're going to pause for a minute. Are there any new members? I couldn't find any new members this year. No babies born since the last reunion?
Larry Poindexter.
Oh, okay. What's her name? Okay, I hope you all heard that. Okay. We'd also like to pause for a few minutes and to remember those members who are no longer with us. This was one of the reasons why the reunion was started in the first place, so that we could meet on happy ground and not always meet for sad times. And we'd like to pause and remember S.J. McMillan, George Dukes, Diane and Katrina Hatchett, and David Green.
Robert Poindexter also.
Oh, and Robert Poindexter. Is there anyone else that I missed? Okay. Would you all bow your heads for a moment of silence, please, in remembrance of those members?